welcome to the first ever Gauntlet review on this channel. I plan to make this a recurring series. Basically, I'm going to be ranking gauntlets based on how much I like them. I'll be ranking every level in 4 categories: the gameplay, the decoration, the creativity, and my overall enjoyment of the level, to give it a score out of 40, and at the end I'll add up all the scores plus an extra score from the rewards of the gauntlet and see what my final thoughts are. I'll be ranking each aspect of the level on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being absolutely horrible and garbage, and 10 being perfect in pretty much every aspect. The first level in the gauntlet is Slam by Rafer, and immediately you can see it has this kind of monster, toxic waste theme, which is really fitting for the monster gauntlet. I feel like the gameplay is way too easy. It's way too easy for a harder level. I don't know why it's rated harder. This is more like normal difficulty, if I'm being completely honest. The gameplay is incredibly fast-paced, but it has a lot of slopes, so all of your errors are basically corrected immediately. And I think, as I've said before, the theming is pretty good, but the boss fight is where the theming really shines, because not only is the boss like this goopy, toxic slime monster, but it also kind of looks like the cube on the monster gauntlet icon, which is very fitting for a level in the gauntlet. I also think that the music is very fitting in this level, and overall the level is just a pretty chill experience. I'd rate the gameplay like an 8 out of 10. It would be like a 9 if it was just a bit more challenging. The deco, I'd rate like a 6 out of 10. It's nothing special, but it works. And for creativity, which is basically theming and ideas, I will give it probably a 9, which is like really good. And as for my overall enjoyment, I'll give it an 8. I really like this level. I do not like OMG aliens, and I think a lot of people can agree with me on that. The level starts out with this really cool, like, toxic monster theming, kind of like Slam did, but, like, the moment you get to the drop, it just completely vanishes, and the level just turns into a modern 2.1 level. The gameplay is also not the best. Call it a skill issue on my part, but this level took me longer to beat than B. I can one attempt B, and this level took me 4 minutes. I did not have a fun time playing it. This level is honestly kind of a nothing burger, except for the boss fight at the end. In my opinion, the boss attacks could have been better telegraphed, and they're kind of unsight readable. For gameplay, I would rate it probably a 6 out of 10. Did not enjoy it. For deco, I'd rate it also a 6 out of 10. It's nothing special. For the theming, it kind of loses its theming in the middle of the level, but the beginning and end of it still have the theme. I'll give theming like 7 out of 10. As for my overall enjoyment, 4 out of 10. Monster Mischief is the next level, and it starts off with this really cool cartoonish theming, which I think is very nice because it's a good way to break away from the goopy slime alien theme of the previous 2 levels. However, the pre-drop isn't really that interesting, and what I really want to talk about is the boss fight. The boss fight itself isn't very interesting aside from the boss design, which is like this goofy orange goblin. But the thing is he takes up like the entire right side of the screen, which is where I'm looking during gameplay most of the time, so it makes it kind of annoying to sight read parts. I really like this part where you have to press the buttons to defeat the boss, because usually in GD boss fights, the boss just ends randomly, usually, but here you actually get to fight back, which is pretty cool and makes the gameplay pretty interesting. The cube parts in this level are pretty boring, but this UFO part afterwards is a pretty big choke point. I find myself dying here a lot, and it's probably just because it's really fast. And the second boss fight is kind of a nothing burger. He just kind of sits there doing nothing while you, like, do the gameplay. I feel like if he had actual attacks, then it would be more interesting. All you do is just press a button at the end of the level, and then he dies. For gameplay, I'll give it a 7. There were some parts in the level where the gameplay was very interesting and fun, but there were other parts where it was just kind of a nothing burger and was kind of boring. As for the deco, I think it does its job pretty well. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. As for the theming, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It had a really good theme, and it's a nice breakaway from the other two levels. As for my overall enjoyment, I'll give it an 8. I like this level a lot. Mechanism is probably the most unbalanced level in this gauntlet. It starts out as like medium demon difficulty, and that carries in through the boss. Like, just look at this part. Like, I don't really think I need to explain it. You have eyes. You can see that this is not like 9-star gameplay. The boss attacks, while they are telegraphed, you have no clue if they're going to go up or down, and you kind of just have to guess a lot of the time. I still think this boss is very interesting. And after the boss fight, the gameplay just becomes like 3-star gameplay. It just becomes very easy after the boss fight, which is probably why this level got rated 9 stars. I think the theming is alright. It's got like this futuristic, robotic factory feeling to it, which is very fitting for a level that's literally called Mechanism. But yeah, this level's honestly just kind of mid. It does use a Creo song, so I have an automatic bias to it. I'll give the gameplay a 6 out of 10. I feel like there were a lot of things that could have been improved, especially the balancing, but I think it's okay. As for the deco, I think it's okay too. It's also a 6 out of 10. It's not really that special. For the creativity, which is the theming, I think it doesn't really fit in the Monster Gauntlet. It would have worked for like a different gauntlet, like the Cyborg Gauntlet, but this level was made like way before that, and the Cyborg Gauntlet is a 2.2 gauntlet. I just don't think the futuristic robotic vibe is good for like the Monster Gauntlet. I don't think it really works well. So I'll give the theming probably a 5 out of 10. As for my overall enjoyment, I'll also give it a 5 out of 10. It was just really mid all around. Before I start this next segment, I just want to say that I don't like this level at all. Hellgate Menace is the final boss of the Monster Gauntlet, and it starts out suspiciously easy. Like, this is 5-star gameplay. It switches between game modes pretty fast, but it's nothing too difficult. Also, I slowed it down so you can see how awful the sync is. It feels like he made the entire thing synced and then just moved the whole thing over by a block. The ship part is also pretty easy. It kind of reminds me of that ship part in Cycles. And this transition is just incredibly jank, like this little build-up right here. And anyways, now we're getting into the part where I really hate this level, the boss fight. You basically cannot see a thing because it's so bright and flashy. The indicators are pretty nice though, and I think the boss design looks really clean. Can't really see it, but right here there's an indicator after this bit that tells you to go down, and if you do, he slams a bunch of stuff into the ground and you die. The rest of his first phase is pretty boring. You just dodge a bunch of stuff. And this fireball attack that he does after this slash is honestly pretty annoying. Like, that attack right there where he summons the fireballs is really annoying. Now we get into his second phase. You have this little transition, which is actually pretty cool. And in his second phase, you cannot see a thing and pretty much everything kills you. There are indicators, but you can barely see them since it's so bright and flashy. Yeah. I don't like his second phase. Then afterwards, you have this transition where the speed changes back and forth a bunch of times, and it's incredibly jank. And in the third phase, it's basically all memory, and the attacks are very not well telegraphed. And right here, you go invisible, and you have to dodge a structure while invisible, and that's pretty much the end of the level. I'm not a fan. For gameplay, I'm ranking it a 3 out of 10, and you already know why, I just explained it. The deco is actually really good, and I like it a lot, so I'll give the deco a 7. As for the creativity and the theming, it's more hell-themed than monster-themed, and I think it would have fit better in the Demon Gauntlet, because let's be honest, this is a demon level, this is not a 9-star. The Demon Gauntlet did come out before this level, though, and it is a Monster Gauntlet entry, so yeah. I'll give the creativity probably a 6 out of 10. As for my overall enjoyment, 2 out of 10. I don't like this level. As I said at the start of the video, I'll also be ranking the rewards on a scale of 1 to 10 based on are they worth it and how good are they. When you beat the Monster Gauntlet, you get 1 Demon Key, this pretty cool skull icon, and 30 diamonds. Honestly, I think the icon is pretty cool, and the other rewards are kind of an added bonus. I'd say it's maybe worth it, maybe not. I'm kind of in the middle on that. I'll give the rewards a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to tally up the points. I ranked Slam a 31 out of 40, OMG Aliens a 23 out of 40, Monster Mischief a 30 out of 40, Mechanism a 22 out of 40, Hellgate Menace an 18 out of 40, and the rewards a 7 out of 10. And that leaves us with a total score of 131 out of 210. If I were to put that on a tier list, it would probably be C tier. Anyways, yeah, that's my opinion on the Monster Gauntlet. If you would like to see this become a recurring series, then go ahead and crash a Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird jet into the subscribe button. Bye.